conversation going about it, about the renewable materials in the tyre, but what the drivers really want to know, will it heat up faster, will it last longer over a stint? And generally the feedback is yes, and we've seen that the outlaps have been quicker than they have been in the past. The hotter temperature helps as well. Now heavy GT traffic for Felipe Nasr as they go into Le Mans chicane, and Aitken is all over him. Aitken is all over him, and this is your battle for the lead of the motor race. 43 minutes to go, the same strategy, it's a dogfight.
Action Express was able to get Aitken the position in the pits to get him up to second. Now, can he chase down and do something with the two-time defending winner of this race, Felipe Nasr? Nasr now with a little bit of heat at the tires, but Aitken with a head of steam starting to reel him in through the tri-oval.
Now, this has got the ponies. Round the outside is the quicker run, but you've got to be right up alongside. It's down to under 3/10 of a second on the infield, down towards the international horseshoe. Traffic ahead, GTD cars, and a defensive line now being taken by the Porsche driver. Felipe Nasr still leading the motor race with 42 minutes to go. I think they thought they had this one slightly more under control. They were worried about the cooler temperatures in the night time. Is this just Felipe Nasr being cautious and warming his tyres up after that pit stop? Does not want to put too much energy through the Michelins. He's got the best of the traffic there as he goes on to speedway turns 1 and 2, and for the moment at least, the charge from the Cadillac and from Jack Aitken is repelled.
Jack Aitken in a groove right now, trying to put the pressure on Felipe Nasr, but Nasr will only get quicker as that tyre comes up to temperature and pressure. Now there is a little bit of an energy disparity between them. The track position and time has been gained by Whelen Engineering not filling that 31 Cadillac winning car to the absolute brim. There's about a 3% difference between what they have. Now that's a lap.
Well, he pitted a lap later also.
Ah, true. Yeah, so they're both going full rich then. I think they've got the performance to go there. So it's now just a straight fight. Nasr versus Aitken, Porsche versus Cadillac.
And there's a BMW on the third step of the podium as they run, but Marco Wittmann is going to have to go on a fuel economy run or an energy economy run the rest of the way. Just 66% energy for him and his BMW, and Kevin Estre starting to close in with 85% energy. It's close if Wittmann can get to the end, and he'll really have his hands full trying to play defense and also nurse that energy number.
About Kevin Estre, he's down on the leaders as well, 85% energy there. Dries Vanthoor, 92, so he's as good as anybody. Slightly further back, but I say slightly further back, 11.5 seconds off the lead. That, maybe not for the leader, but the cars ahead of him who were all in an energy deficit. Dries Vanthoor in the number 25 BMW, still in with a shout of this race. Other drivers who are doing okay, not again necessarily for the race win. Louis Delatraz, he's doing okay, 92%, while the cars ahead of him have got 85 and 72%. So maybe a top 6 finish for Delatraz as well. But all of our attention is rightly at the front of the field as Tom Dillman rejoins in the second place now. LMP2 car for Inter Europol. CrowdStrike from Inter Europol twice in LMP2. In GTD Pro, it's Manthey, the Grello car, ahead of Paul Miller Racing's BMW. Winward Racing, 75 Express and Ford Racing, all disputing that one. And in GTD, the Lexus. Where's the Lexus come from? Barely called that car's name. That must be out of kilter.
It is. That's exactly right. They owe a stop here.
So that one a little bit off strategy. The Aston of Magnus, the Mercedes of Winward, and the Aston of Harter Racing. Those are the cars that are battling for the top 3 positions in the GTD category. Just under 40 minutes to go. Gorgeous weather. Track temp as hot as we've seen it all week now. 30 Celsius is 93 Fahrenheit. I think we got up to about 96 or 97, so a couple of degrees here or there. 26 in the air, more than pleasant final stops for one or two LMP2 cars, and significant ones as well, as the number 22 United Autosport car comes in. Spike the Dragon in the gold colours comes in, wins. Number 52 Brian Herder Autosport, that's just gone out of the pit lane with Parker Thompson behind the wheel. So those will be the last stops for the P2 cars. It's not over, guys, is it, in any of the classes?
Very tight, because the number 43 into Europol car pitted or left the pits with 40 minutes to go, so might not be able to go absolutely full rich. It depends where the white flag actually falls in one way. That's how tight it's going to be.
Oh, and that's always the conundrum, Ryan, isn't it? Because if you are not the lead class, you are not in control of your own destiny as to where the end of the race is. Only the leader is.
That's right. Now, there will be telemetry for the teams. They have these very complicated strategy software programs that incorporate AI that can kind of predict these things based on the pace that we're running, but things can change, things can happen that you wouldn't expect. That could change that equation there in the final few minutes. They'll do their best to plan for those contingencies, though.
Jack Aitken doing a little bit of lifting and coasting aboard the number 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac, so maybe thinks that he could do with a little bit extra energy, albeit it was in a sequence of traffic going into the Le Mans chicane, so maybe thought there's no point charging in and then losing momentum, better to get a good exit out of the Le Mans chicane. And I suppose if you save a little bit, you can then burn a little bit more at other places. But Felipe Nasr, he's doing his job right now with last lap by 9/10 of a second quicker than Aitken. But remember, Aitken was held up quite a bit in traffic.
And what do we always say, gentlemen? What does traffic do?
It gives.
And it takes.
I didn't even rehearse that. That was very good. So, 36 minutes now. 5 minutes past 1 in the afternoon. Hello to those of you watching around the world. Joe Bradley's got his feet up in Dubai after a hard day's work at the Dubai International Kartdrome for the O-Plate meeting. Hello, Joseph. You're enjoying what you're watching and listening to. Can I just very quickly say thank you very much to Casey, to Rebecca, to Rachel, to Sean and the rest of the staff in the IMSA suite just off to our left, who've been looking after us during the race. We haven't had time to get back across to the middle, and it's been so busy to get back into the midfield and see the guys at Apex. The Sheffers team looked after us earlier on in the week absolutely brilliantly, but it's been great company, great service, and met some nice people in there just off to our left hand side. Time to squeeze in another pit reports. Here's Duncan Vincent.
Yeah, Ford Racing for the lovely Mustang GT3. We've got Frederick Verfish here. Fred, you're in a great position right now. Seb on track, leading the way. I mean, it's a great feeling towards the end of the 24 here, the Rolex 24.
Yeah, it would be perfect if the race would finish now, of course. But yeah, we're clearly on a different strategy. I think the whole race we did a great job, but we didn't have the outright pace, so we're trying to win it on a different way. And yeah, let's see. It's still 40 minutes, I think, so or 34 minutes. So yeah, we will see what's going on. So
you guys need a little bit of maybe outside help from somewhere else?
Yeah, 100%. But I think it's a great goal, what we're trying, and we have nothing to lose. So yeah, it's exciting, the last 30 minutes. So.
Frederick, thank you very much, and great to see the Ford Racing name back in the IMSA WeatherTech Championship.
Yeah, they've had I think you would call it a more than happy run in that car. Big changes to that machine, the Evolution kit helping the competitor teams, and every single competitor team has said that they feel that the Evos have moved that car on by a margin. Remember, it was they were first and third last year. 65 car, Seb Priaulx. There'll be two very excited Priaulx parents in Guernsey at the moment who are tuned in. Hello to Andy and to Joe. And I I absolutely know, if they're not here, that is, that they will be tuned in, watching and listening. Known Andy and Joe for a very, very long time. Two hard-working people in the community as well, and congratulations to Joe. Relatively recently was honoured in the honours list for all of her hard work in the Channel Islands with various local charities dear to their hearts. So that's both of the Prios actually now have letters after their name.
They do. Then where do they find room in the house for all the awards now?
Well, absolutely.
Well
And the
deserved as
trophies.
such. And all the trophies, yeah, a lot of trophies, especially now Seb's racking them up with a fair amount of regularity. But if we stay green, as Frederick Vervies just mentioned, it's not going to work out, unfortunately, for the 65 Ford Racing Mustang. And what that means, if we do stay green, is that your net leader in GTD Pro is Dan Harper for Paul Miller Racing, BMW #1. They've had a couple of different heartbreaks over the last couple of years in GTD Pro, where they've come close. He's about 3 seconds ahead of Maro Engel. Now, when was the last time we had a driver come up to chat to us in the booth and then go on to win the race?
It's not unheard of.
It's not, of course it's not, but I cannot remember the last time it was.
The other thing I would say, I have to say that obviously the Ford is just hanging on there now at the moment. They've rolled the dice and they're waiting for it to come up. Even if there was a full course yellow now, does it really help them?
Not really.
They've still got to come down the pit lane.
The only thing that would help them would be that they could come in and they would get a tiny splash of fuel, would be to chuck new tyres on, and then they just got to hope that their new tyres would be enough to overcome the other cars that would be on slightly older tyres. That would be the only play I can see, but maybe I'm missing something.
Aaron Thielitz, our out of sequence Lexus, down the pit lane, which means that Nicky Team heads to the front of the field.
He does, but it's really close. The top three in GTD are practically nose to tail. So it's now Nicky Team ahead of Philip Ellis. Remember, Windward got a position in the pit lane, that most recent round of pit stops, to jump ahead of Mattia Drudy, but Drudy is there as well. It's about 2 seconds separating the top three in GTD right now, and they're all good to the end.
Got that incident from earlier on between the BMW of Marco Wittmann, the GTP car, and the 033 Ferrari of James Calato under review. Let's go down to Duncan in the pit lane, watching the P2s as well as the GTDs.
Yeah, just got a glimpse of the Pratt Miller car going behind the wall up beside the Porsche Penske Motorsport entrance. That car's been through the wars today, actually, that orange car, orange and black. It's a bit of a shame, but I'll make my way around to see exactly what's happening.
I was kind of hoping that if one of the Porsches would win, it would be the number 6 car, because I'd like to see the die cast of that with all the damage on it, to be honest. Let's go to Arjuna, who's setting himself up in the Mobil 1 Daytona 24-hour, Rolex 24-hour victory lane, and he has the man who we can thank for all of the weekend's action and all of the logistics of how they've gone so well. Frank Kelleher is with Arjuna.
I'm imagining what it would be like here in a couple of minutes' time to have that Rolex, but Frank Kelleher, president of the Daytona International Speedway, another amazing Rolex 24. Just how special has it been for you to see the fans enjoy this edition of the Rolex 24?
This is a special moment, not only for me personally, but most importantly, everyone at IMSA, everyone at Daytona International Speedway, and all of the sports car fans from around the globe who have helped make today the highest attended Rolex 24 in all 64 years of the running of the event. So, you know, once the checkered flag drops on this event, we always start planning and promoting for the following year. Myself and our team, we were at Road Atlanta for the Petite Le Mans. We brought the trophy there, and really just getting out there with race fans and talking about Daytona, the Rolex 24. And so to see all all of the guests here from all over the world all weekend long just makes us so happy, and to be able to break some records is really just the cherry on top.
And it wasn't as cold as last year, but we did have the lengthy fog that kind of held us up in the middle of the night. It's been great to see how many fans have stuck through the entirety of the day as well.
Not only did fans stick through, but we have some single-day guests that are here that just bought a Sunday-only ticket. So again, just the spirit of sports car racing and endurance racing, some of the best fans in all of motorsports, to where they know that the race is going to happen, and you might have some fog, you might have some weather, but in the end it's going to be an amazing show. And just seeing the sunshine here and the clouds, it is some awesome racing going on, and again, just can't thank the fans enough.
Thanks, Frank. We're really excited to be back here next year. But also, John, we have to say a big shout out to all the fans that have been with us here at the 64th running of the Rolex 24.
Yeah, the date is already set for next year. That was announced earlier on in the week, and you can start making your plans January the 28th to the 31st. Next year, 28th to the 31st next year, so a tiny bit later than what we've seen, 1 week later than what we've seen. Awful lot going on at that time of the year. You've got all the other motorsport events, plus the Super Bowl, of course. There is quite an event around these parts, so you've got to stay away from that. Porsche by 1.4 seconds, Jack Aitken matching the leader to the 10th last time around. Peter, get the feeling that Jack is not quite finished with this yet. I think he needs a clean run, but the pace is still there in that 31 Whelen Cadillac. What a story that would be. Stories up and down that top 10, isn't it? Because you've got Porsche going for the three-peat as the number 6 car now under pressure. Dries Vanthoor from Marco Wittmann. Kevin Estre under pressure from Dries Vanthoor for the last step on the box. Stories up and down that top 10 in GTP.
Everywhere, yeah. Of course, Whelen Engineering, El Bamber going for the BAM Slam, as we talked about it, going for 4 wins out of 4 in the major 24-hour races. As straight through goes Dries Vanthoor without too much fight at all from Kevin Estre. Now, I've never seen that ever. Is something wrong with that number 6 Porsche Penske Motorsport machine? Because that seemed very routine there for Dries Vanthoor, and Dries already starting to pull away. Has Kevin Estre got an issue in that car, or not? Or it could be usable energy, perhaps.
Yeah,
maybe.
I was thinking that there's got about 4 or 5% between them.
I think he's okay, because 50% would be roughly half, maybe a little bit less than half an hour. He's got 56%. We've only got 25 minutes left, so it's not usable energy for the stint. So BMW up onto the podium, well, 3 marks in the top 3.
Here's the question: are those taped repairs on the aerodynamic surfaces beginning now to feel the strain of lap after lap after lap, Ryan, of 200 miles an hour? Because they were trying to stop the escape of air through the side of the car. The lead has come back down. The traffic giveth, the traffic taketh away, and all of a sudden there's an aerodynamic tow being applied from first to second onto the tri-oval. Both cars down, low down, across the line. It's Porsche from the red and white Whelen Cadillac. Once again, Jack Aitken goes high, wide and handsome, right to the white line on the right-hand side. Cuts back in, a car's length between them now. And a little bit of clear track, but only a little bit. They're going to catch the McLaren, locked up by the Cadillac driver. The right-hand side, Michelin's protesting as he braked down for the International Horseshoe.
This is what it's all about. 2 top pros at the very peak of their powers. 2 manufacturers who have been here since the beginning of the GTP formula and have developed and developed and developed and are fighting for one of the grandest prizes in all of motorsport. This is what we come here for after 24 hours since the green flag, 6 hours of pure racing since we came out of that full course caution for the fog. It's been worth the wait.
Our journal is posted down by Porsche Penske Motorsport and has news on the number 6, 963 of Kevin Estre.
Remember, John, that Lawrence Vantor posted on social media early in the race that they had been nursing what they thought was unfixable damage, and that may be part of why they are struggling, but also reports of potentially a part falling off the car when Lawrence Vantor was last in the Porsche Penske machine, and so that's what they're nursing. Another update for you, John, in the GTD Pro battle, the number 1 Paul Miller Racing BMW has no radio communication with their driver right now as we head into these tense final moments on the run to the checkered flag.
Across the stripe again and down to turn 1. Aitken is ever closer. He feints to the right, dives to the left, but covered by Felipe Nasser. So that was a slight change of tactics that time, Ryan. Normally, Jack stays very, very wide and tries to do that outside pass. He feigned to do that and dive back in. Felipe Nasser did not move to the outside to cover him, and so the pass was not made.
Changing the line of attack slightly,
Absolutely.
changing the visual in the mirror for the race leader. Nasser maybe trying to force a miscue, but Felipe's a tough one to phase. That's on full display.
Oh, he's got problems here coming out of the Western Horseshoe. Just had to delay getting on the power. The Pro Lexus, sorry, no, that is the GTD Lexus, was just there. Nothing they could do. Aaron Thielitz just sitting on his line onto the high banks again. The Cadillac holding on to the Porsche as they go round the Sun Energy 75 car that's been such a brilliant, has just such a brilliant run. Maro Engel in second at the moment. Down to the Le Mans hairpin, there's traffic here for the leader. Here's the chance for Jack Aitken. Got a time, his throttle application coming out of the Le Mans chicane perfectly. Oh, I think he might have taken slightly too much curb there, Peter, but he's been getting a great draft through the tri-oval.
And we're now into the sector of the racetrack where no one can touch the 31 Whelen Engineering Cadillac. It's been the fastest in that sector all race long, and if you can pick up a draft, even better. Here they come through the tri-oval.
This could be the pass for the lead with 21.5 minutes to go. Aitken waits, he goes down below the yellow line and he's cut off immediately. Door slammed in his face by Felipe Nasser. Looked like he was waiting until the very last minute. It was almost like a soccer player taking a penalty in a shootout. He was trying to make Felipe Nasser, as the goalkeeper in that analogy, he was trying to commit him first and then go the other way. And that was so close to contact between those two. But PMAC is absolutely right. That Whelen Cadillac is absolutely fleet of foot, Ryan, in that last sector.
If there hadn't been an LMP2 car to give a tow to Nasser,
oh, good point,
I'm not sure he would have held on. That was amazing, watching the Cadillac close in and almost get alongside.
Understeer at turn 6 for the Cadillac in second. Jack Aitken is struggling with the front grip on that car, or at least was that time around. These cars pretty evenly matched since they came out of the pits. There's not that much of an offset since we saw them last. The leading car weaving there, maybe to clean up the tyres a bit because they've been down on the apron the lap before. Yeah, as the GTD lead is now being disputed. Down on the inside, the Winward Racing, number 57 of Phil Ellis has Nicky Team on the high side. Aston Martin versus AMG, front engine cars, both with the same engine. They almost touch, I think they did touch, as they're coming down to the braking area for the Le Mans chicane. And who's that in behind them? Is that a significant car? No, I don't think it is. They have changed positions and Winward snatched the lead with 19 3/4 minutes to go.
I'd been watching that battle out the window while you guys were concentrating on the GTP battle, and Philip Ellis had been there really this entire stint. He closed in right away out of the pits, but the Aston is really quick in his straight line. He's got a decent run, and he's got the benefit of the slipstream.
Here comes Team, here comes Nicky Team in the Magnus car. That team have not won for 10 years, but they know how to win at the road Rolex 24. He pops out to the outside line, but Ellis is, well, you're going to have to go
Oh, he
around
goes
the long
wide.
way. There's still more contact. Oh, there's not going to be a straight panel on these cars.
And also, Andrea Caldarelli is the Lamborghini in behind them. Now, he's a lap down. What he's trying to do is get back on the lead lap as there's another touch going into the International Horseshoe.
Well, Caldarelli's actually in a different class. He's in GTD Pro. These are
course
the
he
two
is. Sorry,
GTD
sorry.
leaders. But he's been the fly in the ointment in this battle, really, for the last 20 minutes. At one point, he was splitting the top two, and Philip Ellis was not enjoying that one bit. He was laying the bumper to that Lamborghini, trying to get it out of the way.
Matthias Trudy is the next car back in the Aston Martin for Heart of Racing in the GTD battle. Thank you for putting me straight on that. I was getting overly excited just seeing another GTD car there. But Matthias is only 4.2 seconds behind that battle.
He's been steadily losing ground, though. What he needs is the top two to start fighting amongst themselves. That might be his chance
More
to get
than they are.
closer. Yeah, exactly.
I think he might get his wish somehow.
Yeah, I think he might do. The Felipe Nasser, Jack Aitken battle at the front of the field has become 1 second. As they're into the International Horseshoe again in the sunshine here at Daytona. Traffic again just having to be negotiated. Imagine the concentration, gentlemen, that is going on. You have one of the biggest races in the sports car calendar that kicks off this season. You have one of the most prized trophies in sports car racing, being the Rolex Cosmograph Rolex 24 Daytona Winners Watch. All the money in the world can't buy it, you have to earn it. So how close was the Aston and the Tecamet AMG GT3? Actually, in fairness, the Magnus car got slightly moved up the track there by one of the LMP2s. Oh, that's all a bit intimidatory going down the braking area, but I think that's all right, and I'm not sure, in fact, I'm pretty sure there wasn't any contact, Peter.
There was coming out of turn 6 quite a bit, wheel-to-wheel banging, and in the front of the field a few laps ago, that nearly moved there from Aitken. Well, Nazar having to shut the door hard. Julian Andler and teammate Lauren Heinrich watching on. I'm sure they have zero fingernails left.
When Dries Vanthoor sees that, he's going to realise how close he was to winning this race if he doesn't already, because the front two very nearly took themselves out there, and that would have
Coming back to
benefited.
GTD, if I may,
Yeah.
Philip Ellis, remember Mobile 112 as a Sebring last year? It was a proper touring car race, DTM style, between him and Jack Hawksworth, and Ellis didn't mind getting his elbows out to win that race. And remember Jack Hawksworth after that race on our Michelin Countdown to Green show, he said he's got one coming. So that all that proves is that when it's a dogfight for the win, Ellis will not back down for anyone.
Significant car on the pit lane. That is the number 343, Nick Cassidy, second place in LMP2. They've fallen 16 minutes short. We kind of thought that that would be the case. That removes a little bit of the pressure from the 04 crowd strike by APR.
They need to pit
leading
again.
car.
43's in the pound seat. 43's in the pound seat because the 04 has to pit with 10 minutes to go, roughly. The 43 pitted with exactly 40 minutes to go. That should get them home. I wouldn't want to guarantee it, but should do.
Tell you what, though, it's going to be tight, you know, because it's 54 seconds between the leader and Tom Dillman in third place. It's 45 seconds down the pit lane and a splash of fuel.
But then you cut a bit out. Oh, I don't
Slow
know.
down, speed up.
I don't know.
But it's a shorter run through the pit lane than it is round turn 1 and 2.
In comes the CrowdStrike car.
From the lead. From the lead. So here we are. Now, what we've got to watch is the number 43 Inter Europol car. Where is that on the track? It is just coming down to the Le Mans chicane. Just coming to the Le Mans chicane. So let's keep an eye on it. It's pretty easy to spot in the middle of the Le Mans chicane now. The 04 car being serviced.
Oh, they're gone.
Has it
They're
gone?
good.
They
They're
just needed a
Wow,
splash.
not even close. Not even close. Here comes the Inter Europol car out of Speedway turn 4 and onto the tri-oval. And I'm just waiting to see the distinctive colours of the 04, getting back up to speed. Yep, there it is. It's out and away. So, wow. Now, if we're talking then about the BDO No Strategy Award for Prototype, you've got to say that was a pretty plucky call to go that deep. They probably had 5 minutes or so more fuel in the tank. They chose that time right there to get it done. And actually what they've done is they've dropped that car, that 04 car, into a nice gap in the field so that we can settle back in and let Alex Quinn do his job. That is very clever indeed.
Is it finally their turn? They've come so close so many times. Is it finally their turn, the 04 CrowdStrike crew? For George Kurtz, who you think how he's developed his skill behind the wheel, the drivers that he's given the opportunity to, the development they've had in that crew, they've come so many close a couple of times.
Within inches.
Yes,
a few years back.
Ryan, yes, with the Proton car.
And remember, that car was pointed the wrong way. Turn 1, lap 1.
Yeah, that is sneaking ever closer for my BDO No Strategy.
Likewise.
Yeah, Sam and Stuart Cox for Algov Pro Racing. Absolutely unbelievable. Shall we have a quick word with Stuart? No, let's not. I don't want to curse it, because if it goes off now, he'll never forgive us, Duncan, and I've got to see him at lots of racetracks. Let's leave it a little while before we start congratulating the big fella. Leaders in traffic, and once again, turn 6 is the issue. Trying to get the cars turned in there. Looks like Jack Aitken's front tyres have slightly come back towards him. He had a better turn in there in turn 6 than the leader, Felipe Nasser, in the number 7 Porsche.
One thing we noted on the previous stint, he caught the 2 Porsches hand over fist in the first half of the stint, but once he caught them, his advantage seemed to equalize to the Porsches. That's what he's going to have to try and protect against here in the final 12 minutes.
Yeah, final 12 minutes, and we've got a half a second between first and second. Cars producing their lap times. Very different. Nicky Team down the inside, trying to retake the lead at turn 1 in the GTD category, with Philip Ellis parking the 57 AMG on the apexes of turns 1 and 2.
Just put yourself in Bryce Ward and Russell Ward's shoes right now. Bryce, father of Russell, who's driving in this car, who's been sitting watching on the pit wall. The effort that they put into their motorsport programs is hard to quantify, and they've had the results, championships the last couple of years, but to pick up yet another Rolex, what a story this would be for the benchmark team in GTD.
But on the flip side, it's Magnus Racing. That's not a full-time team. They haven't won a WeatherTech Championship race in a decade. They've had success here in the past, but it's been a while. This would mean so much to both teams involved.
And for Spencer Pompelli, on his 25th Rolex 24, his 249th IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship race, it's too much.
Yeah.
To go and lie down in the darkened room.
It's not been a great start to 2026 for Winward either. Their forays into the Michelin Asian or Middle East Cup rather, with Creventic in the Michelin 24-hour series, did not turn the results they wanted to. They didn't get the mileage they wanted, but they have snagged the big prize in sports car racing. Max Verstappen will be driving with them in the Nürburgring Nord Schleifer long distance series and at the ADAC 24 hours of the Nürburgring. That's the chosen team, and here comes Nicky again. He's there, he'll go to the high side. Now, Philip Ellis will have to stay down. They touch, and somehow they hold their line. That was the right-hand side of the AMG to the left rear of the Aston Martin. I think team was through there. May have even been scored in the lead of the lap. Yes, he was. How did those drivers? That's 185 miles an hour, and both cars pitched sideways in a Hollywood movie style at the end of this race. I cannot believe that we are not looking at a huge incident there. Both drivers with hands as quick as you like. Reflexes like a feline on energy drink, the pair of them. Huge black Michelin tyre marks from the AMG. Well, perhaps Mr. Einstein wasn't quite right, and maybe the laws of physics are slightly more selective than we thought.
There can't have been more than an inch from the right-hand haunch of the Magnus car up on the high side and the wall. There may even be a bit of the Daytona wall on the edge of that Aston Martin for Magnus Racing. Wow, that they are playing for keeps. And since that, Ellis is away.
Yeah.
Ellis has cleared away 4 or 5 car lengths already.
I wonder if there's any suspension damage to either of those cars. It looked at me as though Philip Ellis absolutely nailed the throttle to get that car straight. Meantime, the leader is apparently doing some kind of console game challenge where you have to pass 26 cars in 2 laps. He split 2 cars as he was going through there, including that battle that we've just described to you for GTD. How close was that? They've also got Spike in there, down to the inside, through the middle. Oh my goodness. I think that was down to the inside, through the middle. I think that's a ball-in knot, isn't it? I learned that when I was in the Cub Scouts.
Give Dane Cameron credit. He saw that coming
absolutely.
and moved to the high side.
Nothing of this.
And that's his old team that's coming through, Porsche Penske. They didn't necessarily leave on the best of terms. It was not the way that they wanted that relationship to end on either side, but when push comes to shove, he's not in the middle of a fight, and he did the sportsmanlike thing and made sure he did not impede.
Although GTD is stretching out the gap with Ellis grabbing a couple of car lengths away from the key team, the gap is shrinking in GTD Pro. Dan Harper, who's put in a superb final stint, is now starting to be reeled in sector by sector by Maro Engel in the 75 Express AMG. The gap now only 2.6 seconds between them with under 7.5 minutes to go.
Just cue up the Jaws music here. There's a certain inevitability about this coming together in the next 2 or 3 laps right there. BDO knows strategy. We've had the nominations for the GT category. I think it has to go to the FAF car. They've played. This is not about one single decision. They were laps down and they have played the cards that they've been given. They're going to fall just short, I think. Well, you know what? They're only 2 seconds behind now Max Martin as well. I was going to say they're going to fall just short of a finish on the podium. That may actually even get better. Let's get back to the 2 lead battles that we've been watching through turns 1 and 2. It's very, very tight, and a warning for the number 57 Philip Ellis Mercedes. Incident responsibility with 44. I suggest that's because he pushed him up the track a little bit, and he's now having to defend again down to the international horseshoe. 2 battles for 2 significant class leads here have less than a second when you add them together, and now lap traffic is going to, or lapping traffic is going to play a part maybe as the BMW squeezes through one way, then the other, almost hits the back of the number 57, and that Winward car does not want to give up the inside line here because he's racing. Now surely somebody's got to be on the phone to the BMW number 24. That's one of the prototype cars, and say, look, these guys are fighting. They're not going to give you an inch.
And Ellis made it very clear, I am taking the line here. You know, either try it at your peril. Made that very, very, very clear, and had to do it in this split second. Nicky Team's not giving this up. After that little incident, you thought maybe is he starting to fade? No, not a bit of it. He is playing for keeps. So though is Philip Ellis, but 2 completely different scenarios here. Winward Racing, they're a full season team. They're, you know, 2 times champion, going for 3 in a row in the category. They've got to get those championship points, whereas Magnus unlikely to do the full championship. Maybe Michelin Endurance Cup, we don't know, but to get a Rolex 24 win, a 3rd one for that team, wow, what a story it could be. But it's impossible to call, absolutely impossible to call.
In the BDO Knows Strategy Award, as I keep my eyes on about 17 different things at once, I'm looking very, very closely. Oh, hang on, here he goes again. Nicky Team, you see, as soon as we decide to forget Nicky, I think he's got to go over the top into turn 1. He's persisting with the throw the car at the right, dive to the left. I think Team's got to go over the top and try and do that quicker entry into turn 1. I'm looking at CrowdStrike by APR, gentlemen. They toughed it out. They made a quite brave move It could have gone terribly wrong for them. It hasn't, but that's part of the game. And actually, it was a lot less close than I thought it would be.
Totally agree.
No argument.
Yeah, okay. 0-4 it will be for the prototype category. But again, winners always work out that way. But I'm still looking at Andrea Caldarelli and whether he can close down a little bit. It's gone out to 5 seconds now over Maxime Martin. 2 battles, 2 sets of Rolex watches up for grabs. 4 teams hoping that they will go away with the Cosmograph on their wrist. The watch that was designed to go to the moon and submitted to NASA, that didn't happen. Instead, it has become a style and design icon in motorsport.
We're going to go 3 to go. We're going to go quite deep into overtime here, and I tell you what, Felipe Nasr and Jack Aitken will be very glad that their teams gave them 100% of the allowable energy, because they're going to need it. Particularly Jack Aitken is going to need it to get to the end. He's probably going to end up with less than 1 lap left of fuel left. Oh, so close. 1.3 seconds the gap. It had got down to nearly half a second between Nasr, the leader, and Aitken in the Cadillac in second.
4 classes, 2 minutes 50 seconds to go. No class lead is bigger than 6.9 seconds at the end of nearly 24 hours.
I mean, if you take the 6 hours out, that's after 18 hours.
Fair enough.
That was a neutralised portion of the race, but I'm not taking anything away from that. But there will be the pedants who tell us.
I don't think these teams are also good.
I
also
agree.
think it wouldn't make much difference.
We have had some very long green flag runs as well, where the performance of the cars and the teams have been allowed to be shown. So is Jack Aitken gaining? I don't think he is. A 38.6 last time. He lost quite a chunk of time. It's 1.3 seconds to the leader. So we're now going to, as we have done many times, concentrate on the street fight in the street car based class on the high banks. It is Philip Ellis, for such a long time considered a specialist on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. He is so much more than that. Been part of the Windward setup for a wee while now. Windward, we know them here. They've got a parallel organisation based in Altenbach in Germany, run the AMG operation in DTM and a number of European competition. And as I said, they've been chosen to run the Verstappen Nürburgring campaign. Team again, maybe not quite as close this time. Does he go to the outside? He is going to the outside. I think this is his best chance. Got to tough it out now. Side by side to the white line. Cut it back if he's going to get underneath. Try and force the Aston wide. Get the power on. No, can't do it. The AMG tightened in nicely as the Aston was trying to go wide round the outside. But it's defensive driving now by the leader in class. And Philip Ellis knows he's got a battle on his hands. Now, how close, gentlemen, can Nicky Team stay to the Aston? The Aston seems to have the handling chops. The AMG has the handling chops on this part of the circuit. And it's really from the exit of the Le Mans chicane to turn 1 where the Aston is gaining huge amounts of wheel spin there by Team. White flag is out. 3.56 miles for Porsche. A date with destiny awaits Felipe Nasr and the rest of the number 7 Porsche 963 Porsche Penske Motorsport crew.
And think of his teammates. Julian Andler has never won an IMSA race before, and he is a lap away from putting a shiny Rolex watch on his wrist. For Lauren Heinrich, he's won a championship before, but never in this car. And to win the Rolex 24 on his 963 IMSA debut, what a story.
75th anniversary for Porsche Motorsport. 60th anniversary for Team Penske. What a way to start 2026 if they can hold it off.
Controversy about them pulling out of the FIA WEC. The critics have been answered here. All the eggs in one IMSA basket, maybe. Oh, big slide though by the leader. Is that half a chance for Jack Aitken? He's just a little bit too far back, I think. But this then is what they wanted. They wanted to come back here to conquer, to do the 3 in a row. And there's half a lap now between this car and setting an extraordinary record. Not unprecedented, but in the current era, this is very impressive indeed. Porsche Penske Motorsport on the high banks through turns 3 and 4, and it'll be Philip Nasser who brings it home.
For 3 in a row, Porsche Penske Motorsport and the brilliant Brazilian Felipe Nasser does it again, just ahead of Whelen Engineering. 3 in a row for Porsche here at Daytona.
We'll get some reaction in a moment, but we must find out what's going on in GTD, where Phil Ellis was just on a second ahead of his nearest rival Nicky Team in the Aston Martin. They're coming around the far side of the circuit now, and there's a bit of traffic there as well. It is the number 48 car right ahead of the leader. Dan Harper, Angus Horn, Paul Miller Racing to the Pro GTD win ahead of the Sun Energy 75 in second, and Maxime Martin for Mercedes in third position for Winwood. And here is the other car, the 57 with the flag of Texas on the roof. This is the big one for Russell and Bryce Ward. When they started this company a few years ago, they have brought it to the very top of endurance racing, and along with Lucas R, Indy Donchi, who's been with them for a while, and Russell Ward, Phil Ellis is a Rolex 24 at Daytona winner.
Fantastic execution. This team, championship wins each of the last couple of years in GTD, now a Rolex 24 as well, and CrowdStrike by APR. So much heartbreak over the years. All of those demons thoroughly exercised. It comes down to the young Briton Alex Quinn to take it home, to take the LMP2 class crown.
Let's pick up some reaction from Happy Cruz. Let's go to our Junior Kanga party first of all.
I'm here with the Porsche Penske Motorsports crew. It's 3 in a row for the number 7, but Lauren Heinrich, it's your first. How excited are you feeling right now?
It's incredible. I'm lost for words, to be honest, you know, to stand here today on the pit stand in Daytona and to get my first Rolex 24 win. In the end, overall, I mean, I have to give it to my team, Team Penske, Porsche Penske Motorsport, Felipe, Julian, they are incredible, and I'm just so happy for Felipe, you know, to achieve this, you know, lifetime goal for him. Thank you.
Congrats, Lauren.
In the CrowdStrike garage, and it has erupted down here for LMP2. Stewie Cox has got tears in his eyes. Congratulations to you, a couple of winners.
Yeah, fantastic. But this race, you know, the Rolex 24 hours of Daytona is just something else. You spend 23 hours and 45 minutes trying to not do anything stupid while antagonizing Mike Tyson. And he's told that he's allowed to beat the death out of you for the last 15 minutes. And you've got to, when you get to the 23 hours and 45 minutes, he lets leash on you. And all you have to do is stay standing, and that's how I feel.
Well done, congratulations, Stewie Cox. CrowdStrike by APR.